Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is adjective phrase 42. The adjective phrase today is flesh and blood. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. When we use the phrase flesh and blood, it can have several meanings and uses. It can mean one is human, with human flaws, like, you're not perfect, you make mistakes, there's things that's not perfect about you, and feelings in comparison to other things such as machines. Number two, it can also be used to refer to one's relatives, as in the phrase somebody's flesh and blood. So that means like somebody's relative, somebody who's directly related to you, especially by blood. Number three, it could be used to describe a living person, kind of in a general sense. And number four, an entity, something that could exist on its own, possessing human-like qualities, but not actually human. Okay, so let's continue here. The origin comes from a Bible translation around the year 1000 AD. It was from the New Testament, Matthew. Remember, in the New Testament, there's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All right, and this is actually a Bible quote, and it's supposed to be a quote from Jesus. Blessed art thou, Simon. Remember, art thou is Old English to mean, well, blessed are you. Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, I guess the name, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee. Flesh and blood, I guess it means like man or people, have not revealed it unto thee, to you, unto you. About my Father which is in heaven. Remember, Jesus, his Father is supposed to be God. Okay, let's continue. Now we have 5 examples that cover all of these uses up here. So let's look at the first one. Somebody might say, don't work me to death. I'm only flesh and blood. I do get tired and feel pain. I'm not a machine, or I'm not a robot, so they might say something like that. So that would definitely cover the first one, having flaws. Well, we get tired. That is, I guess, kind of a flaw. We do feel pain, that's kind of a flaw, even though it's part of our human nature. Okay, let's look at number 2. It is hard to believe anyone would do such a thing to their own flesh and blood. So this goes into the phrase somebody's flesh and blood, meaning somebody's relative. So maybe somebody did something terrible to one of their relatives. I don't know, maybe they murdered them or did some other horrible thing to them. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Number 3 here. Be careful how you criticize people online. Even though they are faceless. Well, a lot of times you don't actually see their face. Sometimes it could be a podcast or something. You just hear them, or maybe it's a written article, so you don't really know what they look like. So they're faceless. And a lot of times when people are faceless, other people will criticize them more easily. It's more easy to criticize somebody you don't really know directly who you're criticizing. So it's hard to believe be careful how you criticize people online. Even though they are faceless, they are still flesh and blood. So in this is like this one here, meaning that they're still a living person. So a little related to the first one, meaning, well, they're still a living person. They might have feelings too. So, but still, it just means that they're a real person. So be careful how you criticize them. All right, and let's see, number 4 here. The Japanese make some robots that look and respond like real flesh and blood. All right, so this is the one where we're talking about like an entity. Some robot could be an entity. They could work on their own without, a human's help. And they're possessing human-like qualities. They appear like a human. They could respond like a human. So you could use it in that sense. So they have human-like qualities. All right, and this is just another repeat here. We are only flesh and blood. We all make mistakes. Again, meaning that you have flaws. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was clear. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.